Hello everybody, welcome back to Bull Bear Trader, and today I'm going to go over the Magnificent 7. So let's start with Apple. Alright, so for Apple, the target that I set about a couple weeks before was around here, breaking off the resistance here and come back to test the red line at about 210. All right, so it went up and test 210, and the red line is about 213. So it already hit my target. Now what's next? Well, if you look back here, you can see in a way it's still trading inside the orange channel. Now we hit a little bit of overbought, so it tested the red line and then pull back, tested again, pull back. So what's next for Apple? Let's see. If I take this out, oops, let me zoom in, look at the current channel, current trend. So for the current trend, you see since mid of April, so about 3 months now, it's been bouncing between the red and the green line. All right, so what's next? If I switch to the weekly, it's getting toward the overbought for long term. And if you look for weekly, right, it also bouncing up and down and get rejected last week, right at the red line. But for the current trend, if we ignore this green candle, it's still moving upward, right? So you can see it hit this support and then bounce, and then it hit the resistance and then kind of pull back. Now I'm going to switch back to I'm switching back to the weekly, the daily, right? So let's take okay, we can put this back later. So check this out. Okay, now you can see that for the past 3 months and a half, it's been bouncing up and down. If I guess the next move, most likely it will come down to, I would say, about here, at about, let's say, 200. All right, you can see it's right here, a bunch of pivot point right here, and also at the support of the current channel trend. So 200 is the next target. Okay, so I believe we have a pullback for Apple. And after that, it might bounce up again, so it will continue to follow the wedge. For Amazon, so you can see that I predicted it's going to go up to 225, the green line, right? And the top of the light blue line, then it will pull back and test 197. So as you can see now, it looks like we will have a pullback for most for Apple and Amazon, and I want to see what the other stock will do. But for now, let me see. It's also overbought, right? And it at the top of the channel. If I draw another line here, you can see it's still within, and most likely it will pull back to 215 first, and maybe you bounce it up a little bit and then pull back down and test the blue line. Next is Google. So for Google, after a bounce up, I predicted it's going to pull back and then jump again. So now that you see, if I take this out here, it didn't go back to 168, but it bounced right at the orange line. What is the orange line here? The orange line is the support, long-term support. So what it did was it broke down and then bouncing, came up above the orange line, came back down to the support line, so the green right here came up, came back down to test, and then bounce. So what's next? All right. Looks like we hit 181 and not 187. And because, look, if you look here, okay, now I'm going to take all this line out, then you will see what I'm talking. So now I'll make this red. So what I'm seeing here is if you look at the green trend line, it's been bouncing up and down the channel, but for the past 3-4 times it tried to go above the red line, the resistance, but it couldn't. If you look back, it was around here, and then all the pivot point here. So it's pretty important. So now it's also at overbought for short term. Like the other one, I expect a pullback to about 172. So 172 is my prediction of the next move for Google. NVDA is keep getting higher and higher. You can see it kind of pull back here, right? And then we got a doji here, and I thought it's gonna pull back, right, to 143 to test, but guess what? It did not. It went up higher and set another one. Okay, so now let's zoom here. We got a hammer here showing that it tried to keep going forward, but the next day we got another doji, but this is the inverse hammer, right? And is kind of like, okay, it went up already. Now it came back because of profits selling. And let me see, it went up pretty good from 88 all the way to 168. So we talk about a double within about 3 months and a half. So are they gonna pull back? I mean, I expect a pullback, but doesn't mean gonna go that way. Right now, NVDA, the sentiment is still very strong, so it might bounce more. I'm not sure, but it might come back to test at least this support right here. So it will come back and test the previous high right here. But the trend now is going up, and as you see, it got higher high compared to this, and then higher low. So if it does even pull back, it's still got a higher low. So it's still healthy. And right now, my target for pullback would be 157. But you never know, it might pull back maybe down to 161 and then bounce again. Oversold, but it still may keep going up. It is what it is. For Meta, so I expected a pullback from last week, maybe more than a couple weeks. Pullback to 711. So it pulled back more, and I'm expecting another pullback. The next level would be 680, right? Come up here. So 680, or even, oh yeah, well, 680 is right here. So 680, right? It might bounce and then came back down again to test. So it's gonna look kind of like this, right? And then that's it here. So we can see it been overbought a lot. So now it kind of profit taking and coming down. Another important is that it might look like there's a head and shoulder for NVDA and Meta. All right. So for the shoulder, all right. So, all right. So most likely we have about 668. All right. Oh, so in a way, if we take this out and I look at this level, the left shoulder, the higher left shoulder, we can see it's around here. So look like it might come down to 661. So I will put this at 661. And then we're gonna bounce up to here and then break lower. Most likely we'll have a bigger bounce at 632. Maybe up here back and then pull back here more, unless we have different in tariff or the stock market in general. Now for Microsoft. Microsoft is almost like NVDA, where it went up pretty high. All right, and I expect to pull back to 467, but it only pulled up to 489 and then bounce again. And right now it's trying the three. If we look at the candle here, right? So look like we have like a short term top. So if it pull back, we might see 488. Okay, so we have something like this, and then it bounce, and then we have another pullback to 467. So we're gonna look something like that. Okay, and then if we have more correction in the general market, it might come down to maybe 425 at this candle right here, or even down right at 396 at the gap right here. So we don't know. We still have to see what's going on next. For Tesla, all right, Tesla is one that I got right a lot. So you can see that I say look like we got a bounce up to 326 and then a pullback to 276, and you can see it from here. It actually went up here, came down pretty close to my target, and then bounce. Right, but we have to look and see what's the okay. So let me check here. If we look at the short term, look like it broke below the green line, the support right here, came up, tested, pull back, and then try to test again. But look like we might have another top. So we got high, lower high, lower high, and then lower high. Okay, so here we got low, lower low, lower low. So if we hit here, it will be another low. So we don't know how it's gonna be, but if we check from here, you can see it kind of like hit this resistance and come down, but we don't know yet. If actually, let me go back. Okay, so Tesla, I think right now you can see it was oversold over here. We have a bounce, so it might come up all the way to 320, 317 to 326 again, and then we got another pullback. So it might be like that, and then like this. So we'll come back and take a look to see what's going on for Tesla. But looks like for short term, we have it moving in a wedge like this. Okay, so if I take this out, it's a bit easier to see. So you can see it's been bouncing like this, and it might keep bouncing like this within the wedge, the purple wedge. All right, actually, let's make it orange. It's easier to see. Okay, there you go. So we might have some room to go up, and then we'll have a pullback. So thanks for watching. Please hit a like, share this video, and come back for the next video. And tomorrow I'm going to look at, let me see if we have any earning coming up. I think this week will be the new season, and I think, okay, so look like we'll, oh, we have earning tomorrow. So Fastenal, and then some other bank, but I think tomorrow I'm gonna start covering the earning for Citibank, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan. Wow, look like it's a big week next week. So see you in the next video.